In a day of digital devices and interactions and SMS specials, one of the old school things that South African retailers tend to do is they tend to bombard you with advertising. You'll see it starting at about the 25th of the month, and it goes through into the last couple of days of the month as pay packets start to be realized, and these guys try to draw you into their stores. They'll advertise specials on rice or whatever it might be. Pieter Engelbrecht, Chief Executive at Shoprite. You've got all your competitors' ads on the walls. You obviously keep a very close eye as to what they're putting specials on and how they're doing it. What's the thinking behind this very old school mechanism of bombarding South African consumers with information?
It's actually very simple. It's just to be top of mind. If you're not there, you're not top of mind. So when somebody wakes up in the morning, they say, where am I going to go do my shopping today? And you weren't anywhere, somewhere top of mind, you might not be a choice.
But media consumption patterns have changed so fundamentally over the years. It surprises me that this stuff still works.
It definitely does. And there's a science behind what it, how it is set out and what's on the front page and what's on the second and the third and the fourth and what's on the back page. And when do you go with an 8-pager or 16-pager, and whether
Give me an insight
weekend.
into how it works.
Of course, we have a program, our set program for the year. We say, this is our promotional grid for the year, and we will generally stick to that. But then, like now, things are really tough. There's a big acceleration of promotional activity in this month of August in particular, because one of the retailers have their financial year end in this month. So they are very aggressive, and you see a lot of one-day specials, etc.
Well, I mean, and that happens. I mean, from a business perspective, you're going to have more specials in your last financial month of the year because you need to boost your earnings in that last month. So you don't do that, but you expect one of your competitors to be doing
They do. So we have to react there. Just purely from our point of view is on the Shoprite consumer brand is we will not be beaten on price. So we need to reinforce with our consumers that, remember, we are still the lowest price. So therefore we will react to something like that. On Checkers, you will see much more of a themed approach. So there will be the coffee that was in the newspaper this morning, our whole offering of coffee. It's like somebody said to me, one of the retailers, upmarket retailers, have become very boring to shop at, because you go there and there's one olive oil. You go to the Checkers brand, there are 14 different olive oils, concentrate, small, big, different prices all over the world, so make it more interesting. So there is the difference in this, approaching a different kind of customer. I said earlier, the price sensitive customer, it's got a certain basket. I never knew before this big data stuff that Right brand lemon creams is a very important price sensitive item for a price sensitive customer, because that's always in their basket and they know the price of it. They know also the competitor's price of it. Therefore, that makes that product so important for that profiled customer.
Because in as much as you're looking at all of this information, you're working on the assumption that your customers are also looking at all of these different sources of information on prices.
Your price-sensitive customer, of course, looks at it more than your non-price-sensitive customer. So you would find that my coffee example is that maybe people didn't look at it, but they say, oh, this coffee thing, and it is quite cold today. So, yeah, I didn't know they had so many. The price-sensitive customer has to shop off it.
You positioned Checkers very much for years on cheese, and then you got the very sweary British chef to come in and punch your steaks. You very strategically positioned Checkers to take on Woolies. I mean, Pick n Pay used to be the premium South African food retailer. Woolies took over that category. You're now, I think, seeking to, if you've not leapfrog Pick n Pay already, taking on Woolies in their own backyard?
18 months ago, one of the things that we said, we believe we can get a better share of the upmarket wallet. And we set ourselves a program to achieve that. Very lucky that we did, given the deflation environment that we're in. If we did not manage to get so many new customers in the upmarket segment, I mean, on average, okay, for the year we grew in Checkers 0.32% market share, but on average it equates to 670,000 additional customers per month.
Where do they come from?
All over.
But you're going for your competitors. You've got to know. I mean, you've got all this data. You must know where they're coming from.
Well, three fundamentals is we grew our customers by 3.3%, we grew our volume by 2.7%, and we gained market share. So I say the fundamentals are there. They're working.
I mean, you're unashamedly going for the upper LSM consumers. I've noticed recent advertising as well. You're doing meals in boxes, so they're designed for busy, up-and-coming, what we used to call yuppies. I don't know what we call people anymore who are young and got extra money. You put meals in a box, correct proportion, something that has been created in the entrepreneurial space by the likes of the U-Cooks of the world, and they'll do home deliveries. Yes. You're sticking this sort of concept now on the shelves of your stores, going for that convenience market.
Definitely, there's a twofold approach to that. One is the convenience, obviously. We set ourselves the purpose to make ourselves the most accessible retailer in the African continent. So that's part of that. The second part is the wastage, that we've got to clamp down on wastage. Our responsibility to nature in terms of recycling. We're the only retailer at present that all our shopping bags are fully made of recycled
I can hear
material.
church organs playing already. It's a very virtuous thing that you're doing. But at the same time, here's an entrepreneurial concept in South Africa, and you guys are now taking on online retailers as well. Guys who came up with a great idea, you're picking a fight in that space too.
Yeah, the expensive part of that whole thing is the last mile delivery. And we believe with the 35 million customers that we already have in our stores, we can provide that service, and that people that want that kind of product.
So they'll come and collect
cheaper,
rather than have it delivered.
Yes.
And rather than pay the premium of delivery, they'll come to you and
Yes.
get it cheaper.
Another innovation I'd like to share with you is that what we're going to launch over the next 8 weeks is the Simply Truth range of products in 150 categories. It's not a little fad that we after. It's a $3 trillion business worldwide for people trying to eat more healthy. No preservatives, no added sugar, gluten-free, no MSG.
Again, you're going after Woolies' good business journey. You're going into that segment of the market as well. This is war, right? Retail war. It's a good thing.
I said, I was quoted before to say, I don't want to become Woolworths. We just want some of their customers.
Okay. Which is probably not a bad thing. VAT, you mentioned earlier, VAT went up 1% to 15%, relatively low by global standards, likely to increase in the years ahead. We've seen the zero rating of a number of items, or proposed zero rating on a number of items. Again, this sort of advertising appealing to consumers. Sanitary pads, for example, are on the list, sanitary products, on the list of potentially zero rated products into the future. You're preempting that. Again, marketing to the person who makes the decision in the household, primarily as to where they shop and what they put in their baskets.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I mean, I remember Simon Sussman used to talk about his consumer as she. Do you talk about your consumer as she?
Yes.
But
Yes. There are other decision making.
Yeah, but in the household, targeting women becomes absolutely critical. I mean, is that a key focus for you?
It definitely is. The needs of women, and the quicker in the development that you can connect with them, the better with the brand. That's why we do early childhood development, etc. We do a lot of things in the CSI environment, specifically focused to women.
What do the next 12 months look like for the Shoprite Group? You've got multiple brands in multiple segments. The U-Save consumer needs the cheapest possible access to product. Shoprite people are price sensitive. Checkers customers prove to be a bit more resilient. They may be moving their allegiances from their traditional retail favorite. What does the next 12 months look like in an environment which is not growing, an environment which is politically unsettling? We're headed for an election next year, the land issue, mining, pick your fight. There are lots of fights going on in South Africa right now.
There's a lot of innovation on our side. We are, I believe, a very innovative retailer. So we've got the 5 rand, over 1,000 items under 5 rand, which for our cash-strapped customer. In terms of, I mentioned the meal kits and the Simply Truth development. So, and then probably one of the most critical things is we have landed a new ERP system with our SAP system. We will be completed with the installation.
More
of
data,
that.
more information.
But real-time data, line item profitability, that makes the difference. We're moving away from retail method accounting, which is departmentalized, down to item level.
So you will know how many white bread rolls were sold at the store in Santon at 9 o'clock this morning, if you choose to look at
Any second, you press the button, you will know, and you will know how much money you made or didn't make.
The extraordinary world of retail. Pieter Engelbrecht, Chief Executive of Shoprite. Thank you for watching Taking Stock here on ENCA. Have a very good evening. Good night.